Well, we have to because, I mean, this is how you market yourself. You're one of the most stylish, fashionable people. I mean, you literally have shoes. Are you wearing the Shelby Sold shoes?
No, I have the Shelby Sold shoes, but not on. Not today.
Because you got like the plaid thing going. You got the navy blue blazer, regular T-shirt.
Yes.
You got some wrist beads.
Yes.
You got
no socks.
Christian Stone. I want to just point this out. Christian, he swears he was wearing them before, but he was about 6 months behind me. So don't let him fool you. I had him first. But,
you're the real trendsetter, huh?
The real trendsetter, at least in the office. Don't get me wrong. I'm ripping off someone else that's out there, you know. But everyone rips off everyone. That's a trend, right? It has to start with someone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I need to do something really out there to start my own trend, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, how exciting.
I don't know, though.
I can hardly wait to see what that's going to be.
Well, let's kind of talk about your career because you are on that rocket ride of success for the past couple of years. I mean, you went from like nothing to being one of the big players in town here in the Temecula Valley. So how did you get into real estate?
Felt more like a roller coaster than a rocket.
With the loops and the hoops.
A lot of ups and downs. It felt more like a car crash that you fly out of the car and you land on your feet, I guess. I don't know.
That's a great way to describe real estate.
That's
like
real
a
estate,
cat.
right? Yeah, it's like, no, I don't know. What was the question?
How did you get into real estate?
How did I get into real estate? That's a good question. So I feel like I've told this story so many times, but it's always fun to retell it. I got into real estate through buying my own house, my first house. That was kind of my introduction into the world of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when I started working full-time at 15, so I was basically like a kid working a full-time job because I graduated early and worked for a family business. So I didn't really know, you know, you grow up and you know, like, okay, you could be a professional athlete, a teacher, a doctor, or like a garbage man or something, you know, or a construction worker. Like those were like the categories. And then you don't realize that there's literally millions of different types of jobs. So I didn't even understand this was a job. And until I started buying my own house at, you know, I think it was, I don't know, 25 or something. And that was my introduction into real estate and kind of what agents do as a job. And this was at a time when the market was really bad. And you guys remember this. This was like 2011 or 12, something like that. And throughout the process of trying to find my own house, well, let me back up a little bit. I started realizing something weird because I was looking at these homes and I was realizing that these homes that used to be $300,000 are now like $120,000. So that was like my first, and I didn't understand the economy. Keep in mind, I'm a kid. Like, I don't understand how the economy works. I don't understand how the real estate works. But all I knew was like, these homes used to be $300,000. Now they're like $120,000. I should probably try to buy one because I can afford one now. So that was my introduction into like real estate as a whole. And then while I was trying to find my own house, I was finding all these homes since I was driving around installing autoglass. I was finding homes that were abandoned. And I would always call my agent and be like, hey, what about this home? What about that home? And she would look it up and, oh, that one's in foreclosure and blah, blah, blah. And I would figure out a way to get in touch with the people that own the home and ask them if they would do a short sale. I was doing this for the agent. And she's like, you should get into real estate because you don't mind. Yeah, you don't mind talking to people and doing all this stuff. And then that's kind of, I was like, oh, I guess I could look into it. I don't know how it works. And that was kind of the introduction. So kind of the long way around of how I decided to get into real estate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that was about 2011, 12?
Yeah, I that was like when I started looking. From the time I was looking to the time I actually bought my house. Remember, short sales were taking like 6-8 months.
Yeah.
10 months, you know?
2-3 years, yeah.
Yeah, you guys, again, know more than I would. But at the time, I found a couple different homes and actually got short sale listings for my agent. And I didn't end up buying those homes. I don't remember why or what the circumstances were at the time, but she ended up selling them. And I didn't really think anything about it because I didn't know how it works, don't know how I get paid. So by the time I got my own house and went through the 7-month process of that, by the time that had ended, I think I started getting my license. Because at that point, I realized how it worked and how real estate agents got paid. And the light bulb went off. Because I'm like, well, if I can sell just one home a month, I'll make double what I make now. I wasn't making anything. I was living in a trailer. So that was my introduction to real estate and what made me want to get my license. And I got to give her credit because she didn't have to say, oh, you'd be good at this.
Yeah.
She could have just been like, oh, cool, a short sale listing.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. But she did kind of take the initiative and was very complimentary in saying, hey, you should look into this. Because if she wouldn't have said you would be good at this, I might have never even explored it as an option, to be honest.
She planted that seed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think she initially wanted me to come work for her. Mm-hmm. But she was in Rancho Santa Fe or somewhere kind of far away. It was a referral through a friend. And that didn't end up working out, but I do have to give her a lot of credit.